Today we'll be discussing um, the economy um, from the 60s, the early 60s into the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and our current time. Our economy has been on a downward spiral with numerous IMF deals, three in counting. Um, in my view, the 60s to the 70s can be described in three words: unstable interest rates. That's all, nothing else. The 70s to the 80s, political violence between the two major parties that we have right now. 80s to 90s, FinSoc crisis. Boy, that was a doozy. 90s, 2000, still FinSoc affect us. Early 2000, 2012, except for 2007 when Jamaica see a growth at 3%. We haven't seen the likes of our economy growing by such a huge margin since 1%, 0.1%. In my view, the JLP, in my view, is kind of smarter than the other party because they see that Jamaica has a need for the IMF. But in my view, based on the amount of terms the PMP serve in government, they're responsible for a lot of things like the growth of the public sector, which is a problem right now, development of infrastructure, which is a good thing, tourism on a whole has been growing, entertainment and such alike. The former administration, to me, kind of sent Jamaica in a downward spiral. Our economy falling by almost 45%, even though it was a recession. That's kind of steep, which is now left to the current administration to fix. My view on politics is both major party, both of them look out for the country, they look out for them party. Because if, alright, take for instance, the Caribbean Court of Justice. The JLP is blocking the Caribbean Court of Justice, which is something good for Jamaica. Jamaica is contributing 27 million US to the Caribbean Court of Justice, and yet still we hardly use it. We use it the Privy Council in United Kingdom, which is kind of unfair because if you're gonna go to the Privy Council, you have to have sufficient money to send your lawyers, and you have to appeal to the court. So and it take a lot of time too. So in my view, the Caribbean Court of Justice is a good idea. We make sense spending money on things that you don't use. That don't spell sense to me. Another problem that I have is from the former administration is JD program. I'm not saying that roads must not be fixed, but in our current global crisis, borrowing $400 million and using 25% to fix less than 1 kilometer road don't spell sense. Well, I don't blame the Minister of Finance. I blame the former Minister of Transport and Works. Because how can you borrow have a road program and you spend 25%? Not in one community, in one district. You spend $100 million, 850 million Jamaican dollars. Boy, you know how much something that could I do? How much scholarship, how much person that could I help? And then we call ourselves, yo, born this, we born JLP, we born PMP. Yo, to me, Jamaica don't have a stable democratic process. Cause if on one party or other, we don't really have a choice. If somebody lose, somebody have to win. I like we have six party where all of them are compete for a vote, and the only thing we listen to are the issues. All people care about is the green and the orange. And when them can get from both our parties, them don't want to see Jamaica develop to a point where we can see ourselves through certain things. like the crisis that we're in right now. You can't have a public sector which is 9% of GDP. Are you trying to freeze them salary and them no want them salary freeze? Sometimes you have to take a hit for betterment I country, for betterment of your students, your family, person them where you come ahead of you and look for yourself no more. So I don't know what them are that master. Cause if I get a deal by December, Jamaica again in a crisis we never see before. Cause most of our debt is owned by local people. 60 to 70% of our debt. So if we legal on our debt responsibilities, most of the people who will suffer come from Jamaica. So I don't know what them gonna do. I wish them luck still. I hope they get you by the time December will come cause boy crisis.